Hello, welcome to Spark Outbound Live. I'm Jonathan Sellers, CEO of Spark Outbound, and joining me today is our Director of Digital Outreach, Whitney Presley.
Hello.
All right, so today we're talking about a topic that is near and dear to us and our clients. One of the services that we offer is managed LinkedIn outreach service to help with lead generation. And so recently, LinkedIn has made a massive change in the rules with a certain aspect of growing your presence on LinkedIn's network. And so specifically what we're talking about is they have imposed limits on connection requests. So a couple months back, they started rolling out tests where they would test various just different limits on what they were allowing people to do. They were testing things primarily based off a weekly number, a weekly limit, but we also saw them testing with different daily limits and things like that. So after what we assume is completed their tests and figured out what was their best path forward, they decided to impose system-wide a limit of 100 connection requests per week. So when you factor in, the average is a little more than 4 weeks per month, you're looking at 400 to 450-ish connection requests that you can send out during a month. So for people who may have been, doing a lot of connecting in the past, you would know that very fairly recently, like in the last few months, you could send 100 connection requests a day. So significantly less for somebody who was in that situation. Now factoring in the new rules, because there's no way around it directly as far as it relates to connection requests, because once you hit your limit, they send you a warning now. And if I'm sure if you're watching this, you may have received this warning, and maybe that's why you're here to see some ideas about how do you keep using LinkedIn as an effective tool. But yeah, it's pretty much just shut down, and then next week you can resume again with some activity. So what we wanted to talk about, and let me back up one step. So we actually had been preparing for this for about 4 or 5 months. We knew that we were seeing some trends, and we were just guessing that something was coming. And also we've been just looking for other, maybe more effective tactics or strategies. We always are. We're constantly testing new things, but we had been looking at some other things, and we were thinking like maybe there is a different way or different ways we can approach using LinkedIn as a lead generation platform that can still be efficient, that can still get you good results, but don't necessarily rely on connecting to somebody new, right? So, or going through the formal process of I'm going to send you a connection request, and then now we're going to have a conversation. So, yeah, so what I wanted to talk about with Whitney today is three of the things that we really have seen, and so these are things. I'll preface it by saying these are things that we are doing with our clients, and these are things, like I said, some of them we had already started a couple months back, a few months back, and some of them are things that we literally had, started in the last 2 months. So I want to start off with one that is actually kind of the opposite of outreach or outbound. So it's actually an inbound strategy. It's a social media content strategy. But I do want to just hit on the importance of using LinkedIn for organic purposes and being active and posting content on your LinkedIn profile, to share what your points of view are, to share what your maybe a bit of what your benefit is, or like how you can help people that are your clients. And it does a couple things. and this one we're not going to touch on too much, but it does a couple things. It really builds up validation and trust around when you do message someone, when you do contact them directly, if they come, dig into you and like look at what you're doing and what you're saying, who you are, what you stand for, it gives that that exists. Like there's that credibility factor that when you're, contacting somebody, speaking to them, you legitimately are, this is what you do. You're an expert at this and you're presenting yourself that way. So just wanted to really touch on that. I do know, some people might say, yeah, but LinkedIn engagement or reach is declining, and that's true. That's true. It is, organic reach is declining, but it still is great compared to any other platform out there, and especially when you factor the number of potential prospects that exists on the platform, it is still a great opportunity, and it's relatively minimal. It's really just your time coming up with your content. It can be just text based. You can record simple videos on your cell phone and just post them directly with no editing. There's really no rules on it. Obviously, though, the better quality, the more maybe controversial, the more empathetic. There's all these different styles that people are posting that go viral. But really, if you're saying something unique and interesting, people will pause and take note of that, and it can help grow relationships over time. So, so moving from that though, so what are some things where we can, really actually do more of what we do, where we fit in with our clients and what our clients are trying to achieve, which is sales prospecting, generating leads, finding the people who need the service or product that our clients offer, and then starting the conversation. So following up on what I was just talking about, and which is basically something different, and saying like, focus on organic, is focusing on engagement. And so there are some things you can do which require you to have no connection at all to your prospect, but you can still converse with them, and you can build a relationship with them without even being connected. And then at the end of the day, because of that, it will be a no-brainer for the two of you to connect. So Whitney, I would throw it to you to talk a little bit about, what do I mean, what do we mean when we say like focus on engagement?
Yeah, so instead of kind of having the approach of that we're just going to go after anyone, or we're looking for, everyone, or to convert everyone, um, we look at a much more, focused approach in the sense of, we want to find people who are looking for us or who are looking for our clients, right? And so, what's one of the ways that best ways that you can do that is to find common ground. And how do you do that on LinkedIn? One of the ways is you can join groups on LinkedIn that uh, essentially have people who are looking for you, or looking, might could benefit or likely to benefit from what your client is offering. Um, and we can talk more about the group campaigns, but also another way is to engage with people who are engaging with people who are like you, maybe even your competitors, or excuse me, clients' competitors, or people who are like-minded, so in the same industries, or complementary industries. Um, so looking for those people, those thought leaders in the target industry, and then engaging with the people who engage with that post. So, for example, someone like, I don't know, um, Neil Patel, does a post, and maybe we would want to interact with people who interacted with that post, because those are like-minded people to us, right? Those people are interested in what we're interested in. And so, yeah, those are two kind of approaches: the group campaign, the um, approaching people in the same groups, um, and approaching people who are interacting with similar content, like-minded content.
Yeah, perfect. And so to unpack that just for context, so in case anybody doesn't know Neil Patel, so Neil Patel is what I would consider an influencer in the digital marketing space. He is very popular in the SEO field. So he's like an SEO celebrity, I guess you could say. And so yeah, if he posts something about Google or just digital marketing in general, the logic would be for us. So for Spark Outbound, people who are engaging in that are interested in digital marketing. They're interested in um, at the very least marketing or something that maybe we do. And so then people will a lot of times be asking questions, right? So they'll see the original posters post, especially he's very, very large. So I say he has millions of people who know him and follow him. So his posts could have thousands of comments. So yeah, like somebody could be asking specific questions about something about digital marketing. We may know the answer. So it'd be a good opportunity for us to step into that situation and start giving that answer. Um, and some it's not to say like you're coming in to try to like take over somebody's post comments. It's just helping and building relationships. And considering you have less connections to make, it might make for a higher connection ratio, like an acceptance ratio, if you're engaging with somebody first, having a bit of a conversation, and then sending the connection request. It's much more likely that that person would accept you for two reasons. One, because if they're commenting on LinkedIn, they're more active on LinkedIn, right? So they're more likely to engage in other ways. And number two, because they know you, you've built some type of relationship and trust and credibility with them before you sent the engagement, the connection request engagement.
Yeah,
So
and oh, sorry, just to jump in, but also, when you're, it's not ideally about, this person I can pounce on to give them my sales pitch. It literally is, um, you're mining LinkedIn for opportunities to connect with, your people who are interested in what you offer, and then literally inserting yourself into the conversation to add value to them. So if you're giving them value proactively, they're going to want to know you. They will go check you out. They will interact with you. You're not selling to them. That's not the idea. So it is about engagement and adding value to them, which goes back to your point about the content,
yeah,
posting content actively.
yeah, yeah. No, it all works together. I mean, all these pieces are pieces of the puzzle to find success with LinkedIn. You, Whitney, um, hinted on another huge thing, and this is a huge thing for a logical reason, but also there's a cool technical, maybe loophole that makes this even cooler. When you mentioned the groups, right? So for everybody who doesn't know, LinkedIn has LinkedIn groups. So you can join LinkedIn groups on hundreds or thousands of topics. Pretty much anything that could possibly be a topic about business, there's probably a group there. It might only have a few people, it might have 100,000 people. Like you never know until you start searching it out. Um, but if you get into the mindset of who are my prospects, who are my clients, and then where would they, so if they were going to join a group, what group would logically make sense for them to join? Um, you want to join that group as well, right? So if you knew, it's kind of like if you take it to the real world, if you knew that there was an event that you could go to that's happening right down the street, and the event is completely filled with your prospects, and you can just walk in and start talking to them all, and you can say, hey, this is how I help people like you. You would want to go to that event probably. So the LinkedIn groups logic is the same thing. So if you get into a group, then there's just kind of like Facebook groups and everything else. Basically, it's a siloed, separate little network essentially, which has its own conversations going. So you have your LinkedIn feed, which is all the stuff all your connections are theoretically saying or whatever they're engaging with. And then when you go into your group, the posts that are in that group are just all from members of the group, and it's all supposed to be about the topic of the group or within the rules of the group, whatever the group's rules are. So that's, another way to use your content. So, take your content and put it in the group as well if it's applicable and falls within the rules. In addition, though, if you are in a group with someone, both of you are in the group together. So both of you are members of group A. You can message that person directly, even if you're not a connection to them. And so what happens with this is they're going to receive the message. It's similar to an InMail, but it's not an InMail. So it's not an InMail where you pay for InMail credits and things like that, or you have to have the premium options or whatever to send InMails. But it does come to them as they know you're not connected, and it comes to them and says that, if I send it, it would say Jonathan Sellers is trying to send you a message, is requesting to send you a message. Then they can accept the message. So they see what the message says. They can accept the message. Once they accept the message, essentially it opens up the ability for you to communicate, two ways, back and forth. They can respond to you, without being a connection. So you can have this whole conversation. You're not even a connection with them. So what that does is it allows you to get in front of your audience, right? You got to be strategic with it. And it also gives you another situation where after you've had a conversation with somebody like this, it's very high likelihood they'll accept your connection request, where then now you can build this relationship long term. Did you have any other, am I missing something on that, Whitney? Did you have any other thoughts on the group, how to interact with the groups?
Um, no, I think that you described it well. I think I would, the only takeaway I would reiterate is just that I think we believe that to successfully and kind of ethically do this on LinkedIn is you can be direct and about your message, and this is what this is who you're looking for, and this is what you're offering. If you're like a more sales aggressive type of person, that's totally fine. The point is that you don't want to just knock on someone's door on LinkedIn and go, hey, this is the pitch. It's like it's
Yeah,
about how you approach people, and thinking about being respectful and how do I get my message across and be clear and not waste people's time and not be shady or any of these things, but to literally to provide value, to come in and say, you know, introduce yourself and say, I can, um, you're like, likely someone who could benefit from this relationship. And this is what I'm offering. If you're interested, let's, talk. And if not, then nice to meet you. And, that's kind of the approach that we support.
exactly, exactly. You got to be strategic in all this. It's not good enough, and it will not be good enough ever to just take the basic approach. Like everybody, if you're still taking the basic approach, you're wasting your time. Consumer behavior is changing, the rules of the platform are changing. You have to change with them, and that's just the nature of what we do in digital marketing. I think most people who might be watching this know that, right? If you're still watching this now, I know you know that. So you just have to be strategic. So I'm gonna end it with one thing, and I'm gonna preface it with this: we don't do this. So I'm prefacing it. We do not do this for our clients
Clients
currently.
current.
I'm not saying we never will do this for our clients, but we don't do it for our clients currently, but I do know that this is possible. So this is a bonus. Take it as you will, and use at your own discretion. There's a functionality in LinkedIn called Add Personal Contacts. When you're in your network area of your profile, there's an Add Personal Contacts on the, if you're on desktop, it's on the kind of like bottom left of your screen. And so there's a button that says More Options there. If you click that button, it's going to ask you to connect with people who you already know on LinkedIn. And it's going to give you several different options for how you can do that, including uploading a file of people. What it's asking you for is people's email addresses and to confirm that you know those people. So once again, we don't do this for our clients. This is something I have heard of other people doing. I know that are tools that I receive emails from because I've signed up for lots of tools. We have our own tool, but um, I know there's another tool that's pushing this method, and this is a big thing. There's actually, now that I think about it, there's two tools that are pushing this method as a solution. Um, what it means is if you have the email address that somebody created their LinkedIn profile with, you can upload a list of those people, and it will send out essentially unlimited invitations to those people. Um, if you're still watching this video and I say if you have somebody's LinkedIn profile email, there's a good chance that you may know how to get that. I'm not going to cover that in this video. Like I say, we don't really do this, but we obviously know about this type of tactic. And I'm not saying that I think it's bad or wrong, but just as a bonus, that's a fourth thing that you could potentially do. Um, you know, from a volume perspective, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe you don't even think of it that way. Maybe you just think of it as from a very high quality. I just know I want to contact these people. So to recap, today we're doing a short video. We just wanted to really hit some of the most important things. We just wanted to cover, I guess, a little bit about what is the limit. So the limit is you can send 100 connection requests a week. So that's it. So you have to figure out, you have to make sure that, you're sending the right 100 connection requests. So you want to make sure that the people you're contacting are, um, there's a really good reason why you're contacting them, that they're definitely your audience. You don't want to waste any. You can't just build like a big random list and blast it out. It's not possible. And so then, so what are things you should be focusing on, like shifting your focus, shifting your, budget or resources. And I would say spending time on your organic LinkedIn is critical. Just building your presence, take advantage of the reach that you can still get with LinkedIn now. Um, Using engagement, so using influencers, using people in your industry, or people who your clients would be looking up to in their industry, and engaging with people who are in those conversations, building relationships, providing value, like Whitney said, and starting conversations, and then building the connection, building the relationship from there. And then using group campaigns, joining groups that logically will house your prospects, that they're going to have a logical reason to be in the group, and then engaging in that group. And then there's the ability to message other group members in the group once you're in there. And then number four, the bonus is you can use the people you already know on LinkedIn functionality. Yeah, and so you can use that at your I don't know what the phrase is, but like use it, under caution. Just be careful with that. I would say that that would be something, if people start using that a lot, that will go away immediately. So that would be my prediction. And then I'll just wrap it up with like, what does all this mean, right? And then Whitney, if you have any thoughts on what you think this all means too, that would be great to hear. But so what does this all mean in the bigger context, and like why is LinkedIn doing this? um, there's two parts of it. One, I think the COVID for so many people, millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people lost their marketing channels that they had relied on for years, and they had to shift to digital. So LinkedIn was the winner in that, from that aspect. Like LinkedIn was the easiest entry point, the most logical entry point for so many people. It caused a lot of noise. It caused a lot of market, just the competition just became super crazy. And so LinkedIn had to take some actions to correct, maybe people who were just doing it bad, who were just not just, just blasting out unlimited numbers of connection requests and messages and things like this, not to the right audience, not strategic, not being strategic or anything. And so they had to make a step. Is this the right step? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter to us because we're just going to do the different thing. We're just going to continue evolving, and we're going to do the logical things that we can see get results. That's what we're going to do. And if something changes with those things, we're going to do something else. We also do email outreach. We also do digital ads. We do content and SEO for clients. So from our perspective, we will just continue to work to achieve the objective, which is results for our clients. But longer term, what does this mean when you combine this type of move with also the knowledge of the decreasing organic growth? What this means is in the next 48 months, I predict a similar move to Facebook from several years ago once they got everybody into Facebook business pages and everybody's doing great and their businesses are growing, and Facebook says, well, wait a minute, now if you want to keep having this success, you have to use Facebook ads, right? So you have to pay to get this result. We don't know what it's going to be exactly. There's people who've made some suggestions. I saw a really cool suggestion where you have in-mail ads or promoted in-mails that you can run as an ad campaign type now in LinkedIn. They don't get that very great, very good results in my opinion. But I saw something where somebody was like, what if LinkedIn starts selling outreach capabilities based off the target? So if you need to reach like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, they'll deliver the message to the top of that person's inbox for like a fee, right? So, and if you need to reach owners of landscaping businesses, they'll put that at the top of their inbox for a lesser fee, right? Because it's not as hard to reach them, or not, there's more of them than there are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. So there's a lot of those things, but I do expect, the free, easy success on LinkedIn is on a, I don't think it's necessarily a short uh, street. I think we have some more time because I don't think they found yet the solution. Because I don't think we run LinkedIn ads for clients, and I don't think, just honestly, LinkedIn ads are good enough yet to so they can just sit back and they're like, we're just going to sit on these ads like Google can, or like Facebook even can, or especially like Facebook could in the past. So obviously Facebook is dealing with lots of stuff there, but I don't think LinkedIn has that yet. I think LinkedIn ads as a whole has a negative perception across many people in the digital ad space as being too expensive and not getting that great results. But I also know you have the logical side of who you could reach with LinkedIn ads. So I think they got to figure that out. Like, how do they actually make that happen? Um, but just know, like right now, there's opportunities to have success on LinkedIn organically through some of these other things we talked about in this video. And so the way I always view it is, when there's an opportunity, you should take advantage of that opportunity, right? And then you should at the same time be planning ahead for what happens if this opportunity doesn't exist in the same way. So I'll leave it there. Whitney, did you have any philosophical thoughts about LinkedIn?
Um, I think just reiterating that LinkedIn is still, like, even though it's drastically changing, um, still like 4 out of 5 LinkedIn members are key decision makers at their businesses. So compare, think about who's on Facebook, who's on Twitter, who's on Instagram, people like that. People on LinkedIn are much more likely, to be people who you want to talk to. So it's still a very valuable resource. It's still the number one B2B, you know, resource platform network, anything. Um, and it probably will still, continue to be for a long time. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. No, I mean, you can't, there's nothing else that's equal. And I do see things that are trying right now. They're in the beginning phases, but as we sit right now, there's nothing that's close. So you just got to figure it out. And it may change. The rules change. The rules change with Google all the time. The rules change with Facebook all the time. They change with LinkedIn all the time. And you just got to figure it out. You just got to figure out what's gonna, with the rules as they are, what can we do to be most successful? And that's it. So that's it, guys. Thanks if you hung around for the whole time. Thank you very much. If you have questions or comments, please drop them below, and we'll always try to answer those as quickly as possible. If you want to talk with us, just go over to our website, sparkoutbound.com. You can schedule a consultation call directly on our calendars, and one of our leadership members will get on the call and answer any questions that we can for you. Otherwise, we will see you soon on another YouTube Live. And before you leave, make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you'll get a notification next time we go live or next time we post a video. Otherwise, we will see you soon.